This maybe not be high enough for me to shuffle. Okay. Hey guys, it's my face again with another COVID title attached to it. I am tired of doing these readings. So, all of your dirty friends that are starting to come out of the I don't bathe closet, start berating them, please, because this is their fault. The last reading I did, I think I did back in, I don't know, maybe June. I went over the summertime. I don't be remembering what I say in these readings, and I haven't watched it since I've done it, so I really don't know what went down in there. But I want to do this reading and go over September through the end of the year. I would like to say again, like, I hope this is my last COVID reading, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys intuitively. I'm not getting that this is the last COVID reading. I want it to be, but that is not what I'm getting here. So I'm gonna pull some cards. I'm reading with the what is this? Sacred Symbols Oracle deck and the International Icon Tarot. If for anybody that's interested, I'm gonna hit a couple of different topics. What do I have? I have in my notes. So I'm gonna go over like the general energies. I do want to speak a little bit to the vaccination. For those of you guys that have been watching SunshinehazeCo videos for a while, you guys know that I try to stay very neutral when speaking to this vaccination, even though y'all know my stance. I'm not interested in it, but whatever the cards say here is what I'm gonna tell y'all. So if you don't like the real, don't watch this video. Also, if you are just gonna come in here and talk shit, bye. Your energy is not needed. Nobody invited you. You go find some business to mind. I'm gonna go over, gonna look into what the cards say, what the energy says about a possible quarantine or another shutdown. And I also want to look at the economy, but more so in regards to personal assistance from the government is what I'm going to be pulling on. All right, you guys. So first, let's just get some insight, some general insight into what we're dealing with as far as this COVID and coronavirus stuff goes for September through December of 2021. Message, that's interesting. Okay, pulled a message here. What's the message? And again, right now we're just speaking to the general overall energy regarding this pandemic and COVID for September through December of 2021. That's what fell out. Page of Wands. Generally speaking, to the fall and the winter for this COVID pandemic. At the that's the Four of Cups and Temperance. All right, so this is the card, the overall energy, the overall message, which gives a little bit of a spiritual thing here with this pandemic. So right off the bat, and I'm going to speak to the other cards, but the first thing, and I know I've said this in at least 2 of those other readings. I said that this pandemic, this everything, no matter what you think about it, whether you think the government put it out, whether you think it's something like contagion or whatever the case may be, that the way that it played out and the way the response to it, there was something here that needed to be shifted, something that needed to be done. We've got all of these astrological energies happening, and I haven't put it up yet, but I spoke to Uranus being in Taurus, squaring this new moon in Leo that we are having today. in the video that I just put up, and I don't really speak about it in the video, but we are in a time to where there are things that are going on, specifically speaking to foundation. When I speak to foundation and I say the times, I'm talking about government, I'm talking about like education, I'm talking about the medical, big pharma, I'm talking about all that stuff. There are things that need to be shifted in whatever ways you think, you know, that's on you. But what it all boils down to is that something was supposed to change, something was supposed to happen. We're in this space now to where we had a whole pandemic, we had a shutdown. Then they tried to open the world back up and it was looking good. Then they pushed these vaccinations, and for a second it was looking good, and then all of a sudden here are these other variants. And now nobody knows what's going on again, because nobody ever knew what was going on. We've got the Four of Cups, and we've got Temperance, and we've got the Page of Wands here for the overall energy. So the first thing that I get with this Four of Cups and the Page of Wands, I'm sorry, the Four of Cups and the Temperance card. So these two cards coming together literally point to slow down, need to slow down, a need to stop, a need to take a moment and look at your health, look at your mental health, look at your spiritual health, look at your physical health, right? The Four of Cups is typically your card of discontentment. These two cards, and I'm going to pull cards on this later on in the reading, but I'm going to be real. These two cards do point to us coming into a space to where we are not happy with what's going on. Not to say that we've been happy before, but however or whatever the response that we're going to be seeing over, what did I say, September, October, November, and December, the people are not going to be happy with it. So there is a possibility of another quarantine. And I keep saying this, and there are a lot of people that keep giving me this pushback. They're like, oh, the government won't do it, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, if all the people in the government start dying for real, they're going to have to shut the country down. And honestly, I didn't mind having the country shut down. Granted, I was working a job where I was essential, so I had to go to work. But at the same time, we are humans. And this is a world in which we keep going and we keep going and we keep going, and we completely disregard our human nature. There are times when you need to slow down. There are times when you need to stop. And so the Temperance card and the Page, I'm sorry, I keep saying the Page of Wands. I'm going to talk about that in a second. The Temperance card and the Four of Cups is really discontentment and a need to fix things message, and a need to shift things so that we can move into an abundant space, right? So generally, the energy with this pandemic, especially with the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is a positive energy, typically. However, the Page of Wands is impulsive. The Page of Wands is excited about the things that she's coming into, all of the things that she wants to do. And the Page of Wands typically has her hands in a lot of things. In this spread right here, this says something is moving too fast, and something that is either being given to us or being pushed on us, or some sort of shift or some sort of policy change is not all the way thought through. And whatever it is, there's this notion that, oh, it's going to fix things, it's going to change things, and that's not the case. It's actually going to make things a little bit worse. I'm trying to keep it cool because I'm not at this section yet, but I know that that has to do with the vaccinations. And the way, as we progress in our spirituality, we learn things about ourselves. And I have learned that when I read, I need to say the messages that are being given to me, or else I forget or I can't read what's next. So I was trying to keep it at bay, but these vaccinations, all of this stuff that they're pushing on us is, excuse me, first of all, not well thought out. We've known that it was experimental from the beginning. On top of the fact that none of them are regulated. On top of the fact that they've just come out and now said, although most of us already knew this, that the vaccination does not prevent you from getting COVID. There is a belief that it stops you from dying, but do your research. And I tell people this, I'm not going to harp on y'all with my beliefs as far as this pandemic goes, but I do tell people, whatever your stance is, do your research. Do not just spit back what you hear on TV and what you read in these headlines, because let's keep it real, what you see on TV, those are not all real journalists, and the people writing these headlines are not all real real journalists or real bloggers that actually do like real research. There's a lot of people that are just putting out opinionated pieces with made up statistics that don't mean anything. So whether you're on the side of I'm for vaccinations or you're on the side of I'm against that shit, do your research so that you can stand behind what it is that you're standing in, okay? I'm going to leave that there because apparently I feel like I need to go into these other cards. What do I have next? Oh, I guess we'll just segue right into the vaccinations because that is next on my list. So if I could get some insight, please. Goes there because I need to read that. If anybody's watching this video and you're for the vaccination, I'm probably about to piss you off, so you might just want to click out the video now. Just so y'all know why I'm laughing, and I'll explain these positions to you. Spiritual cleansing, and you've got truth. I'm gonna pull some more cards so that my messages are not biased, because I could read those right now, but let's see what I get so we can actually get some real insight into what these cards mean, okay? I'm not surprised to see them cards here. Not in the least. Not in the least. And the home card fell out while I was shuffling, by the way, and I'll get into that in a second. Okay, you guys ready for this? Okay, so I pulled two sections in regards to the vaccinations. The first section I was really speaking to, what is, can we, like, what's up with the vaccination? Spiritual cleansing, Page of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands, okay? So the first message off bat there, and I spoke to this, I literally just talked about doing your own research. So I'm going to try to keep it away from the conspiracy theorists or theories, because a lot of people do refer to me as one of those people, and I don't care, because a lot of conspiracies are truth, and they're rooted in truth, and people just don't take the time to read or do research, and the information is there. But so with this spiritual cleansing card and this Page of Pentacles and the Six of Wands, there is this message that, and I don't like when people talk about the vaccination, like these vaccinations like this, because even though I don't support them, I don't refer to them like this, but you have heard people say, oh, this vaccination is the mark of the beast, right? Oh, this vaccination, something's wrong with it, there's something going on with it. I personally don't know what's in the vaccination. Nobody actually knows what's in the vaccination except for the people making it, right? And do they even really know what's in the shit? They probably don't. But with that being said, going back to that, speaking on the marking of the beast, and I'm not going to say that that's what it is. However, Anybody that has gotten this vaccination, especially if you are a spiritual person and you have, you took your time to pray about it, you took your time to think about it and to divine about it. If you have that vaccination, make sure that you are regularly cleansing your energy and bringing in your protections. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what type of intention, like what type of energy is placed in these vaccinations. And again, you got to be real careful with what you say in these videos because they will flag your shit and take it down. But people know when you make things, energy goes into them. Whether you intend for it to or not, the energy that you are harnessing, you put into it. These people making these vaccinations, they belong to certain corporations, and we know the energy is a little funny over there. And so we don't know if there's something intentional placed in there or if it's, some sort of weird magical darkness, dark work, the type of whatever. Who knows? I don't. But the cards are saying if you do have that vaccination, make sure that you are regularly cleansing your energy, cleansing your aura, cleansing your space and your mental, and to make sure that you stay rooted in your own spiritual workings and your own spirituality. Also, with this spiritual cleansing card, as far as, and not just the spiritual cleansing card, the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Wands, this brings a message here to tell people, hey, this vaccination, if you want to get it because you want to get it. Do not get it because of what you see on TV. Do not get it because of what is being pushed to you. Everybody, especially spiritual people. And you guys, I'm a writer. I do work in film. I write scripts. I sing. I make music. I do a lot with the media. So that's a platform that I have to use. However, I'm also very aware of how it's used in darkness. So when you are watching these, and everybody watches the news because we want to know what's going on, we want to know what the people are saying, what they're telling us, what's going, like what the laws are, what's happening, right? But when you're watching these programs, when you're reading these articles, when you're mixing and mingling with stuff that's being pushed out in mass production, these mass communications, make sure that that is not all that you are consuming. Whatever you consume, you internalize it. So when you see, and people will tell you that this does not happen, but there is a lot. And because I've studied this and I write scripts and I like to study and look into TV and film and stuff, there are subliminals in all of the programming that we watch. So the people that talk to you about, oh, don't watch that, don't listen to that, they're not saying that because they're crazy. They're saying that because they know, hey, the way they tweak that frequency, the way, I'm getting chills right now. So yes, please be very careful with what it is that you are watching. The way they tweak that frequency, the way that they flash that photo. If I was literally just watching, what was it? Was that the new American Horror Story? The new, I think that's what it is. The second or the third episode of the movies. Well, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if you watch AHS and you want to know like what I'm talking about, if you like get a little bit more insight into it, go and watch the episode with the movie theater. That will give you some insight into what I mean about the way they put in subliminals and how they can actually psychologically affect people. So spiritual cleansing, Page of Pentacles, Six of Wands. Make sure that you are rooted in your own beliefs. And again, whichever way you sway, don't let yourself be swayed by what other people are telling you. And I'm gonna be honest, not even by the people in your family, the people around you. You guys, like half of my family is vaccinated and the other half is not. But we respect each other. Sometimes we be trying to convince each other, like, hey, I don't know why you did that, or hey, you need to go and get this done. But, whatever you believe in, make sure that you believe in it because you've done your own research and that you're not being swayed by these subliminal messages and these frequencies that are being put out. I wasn't trying to go into all of that in this reading, but apparently the card said no, let the people know. And I made it a point before this reading because I had a feeling that there were going to be some messages that came up. I read very real, and with my clients, I am very real. When it comes to reading on YouTube and reading for the collective, I also keep my messages very real, but you have to be kind of careful in the way that you portray them, if that makes sense. So before I sat down to shuffle for this, I got a feeling that there were going to be some messages in this spread that might be a little controversial, but I also got the message that I needed to communicate whatever it is that I was getting, and I asked to just be able to channel as opposed to trying to really interpret the cards. I just said whatever comes up, I need to put it out. So I am giving y'all what I'm getting here, and protect your energy. Literally, protect your energy. Now, going over into why the government is so insistent upon pushing these vaccinations on us. I pulled the truth card, and y'all saw when I pulled that I didn't like bust out laughing, but I wanted to. I pulled the truth card, the sun, and the 8 of Wands. Somebody's gonna spill the beans. Somebody, and somebody up in that mix, something is gonna leak, or a document is gonna come out, or some sort of like audio recording, or some sort of something is gonna come out. And I have a feeling that it's gonna be out for a minute before everybody starts to catch on to it. As much as they will say they want you to get it to keep you safe, when you do the research, the vaccinations are not keeping people safe. It's not keeping me safe if it, one, can give it to me, and if it, two, if I'm still dying or if I'm still getting it. How am I safe? How am I safe? I'm not safe. So the sun card, anytime the sun card comes up, it points to illumination and clarity. Y'all, and the sun card came up with the truth card. So something is gonna be coming to light, and with this 8 of Fire, it's gonna come out quick. The thing is that when I say quick, I did say that it's gonna be around before we realize it. I honestly would even go so far as to say, if you were to start researching or like reading or looking things up, and you probably have to find yourself in a rat, like really digging in there and getting into like going onto these websites. Like I know there's, and I can't, and I don't know if this is on purpose or if I just really can't find it, because I know it's in my history, but I was on the reports page for the CDC with like all the vaccinations, and that's where I was getting my information from and telling people, hey, this is why X, Y, and Z, right? I can't find it anymore. It's still there, and I know it's still there. I know they didn't just take it off the internet, but like as far as I am concerned, anytime I like try to look it up for like, I cannot find it. So hey, if you know of it, link it for me, please. That information, I feel like that's going to be coming to the surface, is already at the surface. People just haven't seen it yet. It's almost like it's in plain view. It's in plain sight. With the 8 of Fire, whenever the person or the group or the organization that needs to notice what it is notices it, it's gonna hit the fan. Like it's gonna come out blazing, and I have a feeling that people are going to be pissed about it. And I don't know if it's going to have to do with something that's in the vaccination, or something that, some sort of like adverse effect from it, or something along the lines of, oh, this was some like placebo type shit. Like I have no idea, but whatever it is, it's coming out, and it's going to be coming out between September and December, and people are not going to be happy about it. It's really actually, I almost want to say, with the astrological energy that we're going to be dealing with over these next couple of months, like there might be a little bit of rebellion or some sort of like, you know, we talk about protests, and y'all, I went to an HBCU, and I am a Black woman. I was born in 92, and I don't really consider what we got going on now protesting. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. But it is very possible that we might see some protesting, like what I consider protesting, happening over the course of these last months of the year. And what is a little bothersome is that it's going to be in regards to COVID and these vaccinations. It's not going to be for race relations. But something is coming out. Something is coming up. I also feel that there's a message to like be prepared, like get safe, be prepared. I can't say that on you. I know I can't say that on YouTube. But for my intuitives, put 2 and 2 together with what I just said. Stay safe out there. The home card, things need to be reset. They need to be realigned. They need to be fixed. And the messages here with these vaccinations is that they are playing y'all to the left. I'm sorry, because I know a lot of you guys really put a lot of, consideration into these vaccinations. And I also know the vaccinations have actually helped a lot of people. But as far as like all of the propaganda that they're pushing and like all of the facts that they're putting out there, they're not actually all factual. Do your research. Do your research and try to watch this video before somebody sees it and gets mad and takes it down. So yeah. All right. Next, I want to talk about, what do I have there? Let's go into, are they going to shut us down again? Whew, you guys, that was a lot. I got hot doing that reading. There's a lot of energy moving there. Message. That's crazy. That's wild. I didn't know the message was gonna be like that, but that's typically how it goes. Okay, let's get these cards shuffled and look into energy surrounding a quarantine. Are we gonna be locked in the house again, or are we gonna have to stay inside? Are the original precautions gonna be coming back into place? Some of them need to. I'll be honest, you guys, I haven't been sick since before 2020, and what I think I was sick with back then honestly was COVID. Like, that was the worst cold I had in my life, but that was back in like December, and it was right before like all this shit started going down. So I just thought I had a cold that was like really bad, and I just nursed myself back to health. And I have gotten COVID tests since then. I do not have COVID. I don't know if they can test and see if you've had it before. But anyways, I'm rambling, y'all. What's up with the quarantine? What's up with the shutdown? We're in interesting times, y'all. There's a spiritual cleansing card again. Grounded. Yep. What did I say? I said it. I really like this International Icon tarot deck. I love the colors in it, and it's interesting because I'm not really a fan of the Rider-Waite tarot deck, like the regular one that most people use. But the imagery on this deck is very similar to it. But I don't know. I think it's not as heavy and as dark as the Rider-Waite tarot. I think that's what it is. All these little people, they ain't got faces. They're just shapes. There's shapes on these little shapes. This is a really cool deck. For a minute, it was hard to get. I had to wait a while before it became available again. I don't know if it's still like that, but if you guys are deck collectors, I would definitely suggest this one. Is that my fridge making that noise? Is that the light? That's the fridge. Okay. Yep, okay. So spiritual cleansing came out again, and then we've got grounded. And so what I want to say very quickly is this is 22, which is master number, which is master builder energy, right? And then you've got spiritual cleansing, which is 55 amplified by 0. So there's a change coming in here, right? There's a change that needs to happen. Remember that first card I pulled was message. All of these oracle cards are literally saying like there is a shift that needs to be coming in, and the shift has not been happening over the course of this pandemic, at least not in the States. I know a little bit about what's going on in other countries, but like I pay most attention to what is happening in the country that I live in. Like I'm not gonna flex or fake or front for y'all. Like most of us do. We pay attention to what's going on where we live. Grounded and spiritual cleansing. These two cards literally say y'all need to keep your asses in the house. Like that's literally what they say. Because the world needs a spiritual cleansing. Like it's so crazy that it's literally like the world and the world's energy and the collective energy is calling out to say that we are sick. Like we need a cleansing. We need to let it go. No problem. Oh, I like your name. That's what's the Fairly Odd Couple. That's dope. Thank you for watching, love. But literally, the world needs a cleansing. And the oracle is saying, hey, we're asking for it. We went into this pandemic again, despite whatever you believe in, whether you think the government did it or it was some contagion shit. Um, it's out there, and because of that, everybody went into all of these different energetic spaces that were typically low vibrational. You know, you guys, last year I went through a very long period of and on some real shit, it was a period of depression. It was like I lost one of my grandparents, then I had to put my dog down, then I got called back to work, and I was in a funk, and everybody was going through, whether it was similar, but everybody was going through some shit like that on top of dealing with the pandemic and having to stay in the house or having to not see the people that you love that typically bring you happiness or whatever. But that was needed because it was like everybody needed to realign individually, and that's what we were supposed to be doing. But because there are so many, again, low vibrational energies and corporations and entities in this world, especially here in the States, we were not allowed to do that. So we had to, again, I worked somewhere where they called me essential, and they did not give not one single FUC blank because I'm not about to play with YouTube. They did not care about keeping me safe. I went through a whole situation and where I found out I was talking to somebody that I said, why is she in the, how'd she get on the plane? And she got COVID. How did that happen? But they didn't care. So people were dealing with this stuff. There were people dealing with the stresses of, I gotta go to work and put myself at risk. There were people dealing with the stress of, I don't have a job no more. I had 2 jobs last year. I actually lost the job that I made the most money at right before the summer started, actually, because of COVID, because they shut us down. So people were just dealing with low vibrational stuff, low energy stuff, sadness. People were dying. There was a lot of grief. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So individually, all of our energies were being put out there, and it was low, and the world and the energy and the space is calling for a cleansing. However, we were in times where the society that we're in would not allow us to do that. So again, the world is calling for a cleansing. It's calling to be grounded, and we need to be put in the house. I am a Cancer sun and a Cancer moon, and I am a Capricorn rising. I don't have a problem with being in the house, y'all. My mama, on the other hand, they they let her work from home, and now she don't want to go back to work. She likes working from home now. But I remember at first, because I was still staying with my mom right at the beginning. I had finally moved back into my own stuff right at the beginning of the pandemic, but like right at the beginning, the middle of the beginning. And my mom, I remember, she was like, I need to get out the house. She would literally be like, I'm about to go to the store. She was going to the store like 2-3 times a day. And I'd be like, Mom, there ain't nothing at the store that you need. But that's like, I get it. People don't want to sit inside. It's hard for some people. For some people, we love it. Some people, it's like, it's really tough. It's the same way introverts, how I hate being in spaces that I don't want to be in with a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of noise. I get it. However, it's not to put you in a bad headspace. We're being called to these energies because it's a call for realignment again. Now, is the government going to do that for us? I don't think I got the cards for that. I think I got the cards for what we need to do. Can I get some insight into? Oh, and while I'm shuffling for this, the 3 of Cups and the Queen of Cups and the 8 of Wands, that points to, if we do get shut down, being able to interact a little bit better than we were before. Because, you know, last year it was like, oh, you can't hug people, you can't see people, blah, 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 blah. If we get quarantined again, I don't think, not that the guidelines were very strong in the first place, but I don't think the restrictions will be that intense. But if they're not that intense, what is the point, you know? But let's pull some other cards. The 8 of Wands coming up again, I think may also point to there being an uptick at some point over the winter, and there being like an emergency shutdown. Very possible. The Queen of Cups is a water person. We like to be alone. We like to be within the comfort of our home. So like the cards are saying that there needs to be a bit of a quarantine. However, as we know how they feel about the economy, is that what we're gonna see? Let's see. That's a court card. That one doesn't answer. Sorry, when I ask yes or no questions to my deck, there's a certain way that I find my answers, and I don't include the court cards in my answers. So I promise I didn't just put this aside because I don't want to read it. That wasn't an answer for me. Ooh, okay. Yeah, they're gonna have to shut us down again. And I hate to say this, but it is going to be after. It's going to be too late. Is what I feel like. It's going to be kind of like how it was last time, like how they let us rock and roll until it was way up in, I don't even know what the numbers are, but until it was way past what we should have been at. And then they were like, oh, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We're going to see that cycle come around again. It's going to be a little different because they're going to try to relax the restrictions, but that is going to bite us in the ass. So, as I was saying earlier in this reading, how I said I was feeling like I needed to tell y'all to be prepared, I think that was speaking to this. This shit is going to get worse. There's probably going to be more variants. Y'all been seeing the tweets like we got a whole probate season, because we do. I was reading the names and I was like, what in the hell? Delta, Lambda, what? And then also, sidebar, for my for the people who think like me and who do the research that I do, it's very interesting those names that they're deciding to give these variants. But so I pulled a yes card for they shutting us down. The 3 of Cups here saying they're gonna try to let up on the restrictions. It's gonna, like, you know how they tried to do, oh, you guys can come inside to these places, but it can only be 15 people tops. They're going to be trying to do that, but they're going to try to add more people because they want money. And like I said, it's going to bite us in the ass. And by the time that the government or whoever it is that decides that they shut the things down comes around and says, okay, we have to shut it down, it's going to be like people are already dead, people are already sick, people are already whatever. But also, on the other hand, when this happens, we're going to come into another point of them trying to push the vaccinations on us. However, I don't know if with that 8 of Wands and the cards I pulled before, if whatever it is that comes out is going to come out before or after that. So again, be prepared. Do your own research. Do not, the subliminals and the frequent, all this stuff, when the video ends, rewind so you can hear what I was talking about. But do your own research, make your own decisions. I'm not telling anybody to get the vaccination. I'm not telling anybody to not get the vaccination. I hope it does. I'm not sure what that was in response to, love, but I'm not telling you guys, I'm not going to tell you what to do. All I'm going to tell you is to do your research so you can make your own decision on what to do. And I kind of remember from my last reading me saying, like, if you get the vaccination, I said the same thing, but I said you'll be okay. And then if you don't, you'll be okay. And I know that sounds crazy. The doc. Girl, I'm going to have to rewind because when I read, a lot of times I'm typically channeling, so I don't even remember what I was talking about. I don't know. I'm sorry, love. But do your research, y'all. Don't just, I'm sorry, going back to what I was saying. I know that sounds crazy, but especially with all these spiritual cards, I think that there's a lot of a psychological aspect to this too. For the people that are like, oh my gosh, if I don't get a vaccination, I'm gonna die. And then you sit there, when you, again, we speak things into existence. We think things into existence. If you do that and then you're sitting there and you're like, say you're waiting, because I know they have like a long list for the vaccinations. If you're sitting there and you're waiting, you're going to be like all worried and stuff. And then, you know, you might get sick. Might not be with COVID, but you might, you know, all that stress and anxiety can internalize. So be mindful of how you're thinking and how you're moving over these next few months, because that has a lot to do with how your body is going to react and how your immune system is going to be amongst all of this stuff. You know, me, and I like that I can have these conversations with my mom, because she, me and her have different views on this stuff. And, you know, I just told her, I was like, look, I've been healthy, you know, I've been good. When I go out, I wear my mask. I don't, if I'm in a group of people that I don't necessarily know or that I haven't been around, the mask is on. I am a clean person, so I wash my hands. I am not like these weirdo celebrities. Yo, if y'all got friends that are coming out of the I don't bathe closet, once again, y'all need to berate them and tell them that they are the reason why we are dealing with this nonsense. Like, how do you, who, I could not believe that I saw I don't bathe until I see dirt on my skin. Like, are you kidding me? That's nasty. Anyways, going back to before I go on a tangent, because I could talk about that all day. Do your research, be prepared. Super gross. I'm saying be prepared, and also because the cards are saying that they might have to put us into a quarantine, and I don't want to tell y'all this because I know how people get, but start stocking up gradually on just like household items. Please do not buy out all the toilet paper and all the paper towel and all this. Don't buy out all the soap. You should have soap in your house, and you should have soap stocked up in your house at all times anyway. I understand the toilet paper. I understand the toilet paper because you know you be going through toilet paper quick, and sometimes you do go to the closet like, damn, I only got one roll left. But the soap, come on, y'all. That's why people wasn't bathing, and they was like, oh, ain't no soap. Well, I guess that's what it's supposed to be. I'm a free ball it from here on out. But you guys stock up on some stuff. Do like my mom did, and y'all can take 2-3 trips to the store every day and get you some meats for the freezer. She was going to all of the stores all over the place. My mom would be gone for like an hour and a half. I'd be like, where were you at? She'd be like, I was out in Inglewood. Why was you at Walmart in Inglewood? We live in Aurora. What are you talking about? But just to wrap this part up, possible that we're gonna have to go into a quarantine. Get yourselves prepared, and also get yourselves prepared. I also feel like something about your savings. Try to save as much as you guys can. But I hope that doesn't mean that they're not going to give us no more stimmies, because we could use some stimmies. I could always use a stimulus check. I don't know about y'all. But, all right. The last section is the stimulus. What are we looking at there? Looking at as far as assistance goes. Because the reality of it is, no matter what Biden or any of them people in the government say, talking about, oh, we can't just keep pushing the moratorium out forever. Well, you can when the pandemic is not over. I don't know what the hell, how y'all got to that point, but what you're saying doesn't make sense to me because we're still in a pandemic. Oh, we can't be giving out government assistance. People just want to get by on the government. Is the government not getting by on us by taking taxes out of our earnings every month, every time we get paid? Make it make sense, because it don't. All right, what's up with the stimulus checks? What's up with the government assistance for the pandemic? Speaking specifically, honestly, to the United States, because that's where I live, y'all, and I want to know, is they gonna grease my pockets, or at least like oil them up a little bit, like just a little bit of coconut oil, just a little bit. What's poppin'? They don't want to. It looks like they're gonna have to. We got the truth card again. Yo, spirit, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, they like whatever they got going on behind the scenes is like, that's not right. It's not good. It needs to come out. People need to open their eyes, in all honesty. So they don't want to they don't want to have to help the people. However, with the new moon card and the talisman, there's some sort of message that points to like them not being able to get what they need done without helping the people, which is me going back to what I was saying, possibly about there being some sort of like rebellion or like uprising or something of some sort. And I don't know if it's going to be like major or if it's going to be like a strike of some sort. Yo, by the way, word to Spirit Airline employees, word to y'all. I don't know how much I can say because I just quit, so I'm not going to mention the company I worked for. But I said all airline employees should have striked as soon as them bailouts went out and nobody saw hazard pay. So I stand with the Spirit employees, especially because their airline is already raggedy, so they had some nerve treating their employees like that, and they could figure it out. Word to y'all. If y'all can't tell, I have a bias. I have a bias towards the airlines. But also, I always welcome and accept every experience and appreciate every experience. I did get to travel for free. A lot of people in my family got to travel for free. I had good medical and dental insurance for a little bit, but also at the same time, still a corporation. Ten of Pentacles, that's the card I was looking for. I was hoping I would pull that. Okay, they don't want to give us no money, but however, especially if we have to get shut down, especially if we have to go into an emergency quarantine, that means people are not going to be able to work. In a lot of these jobs, you can't work from home. Like people who work in like grocery stores, or who work at like airports, or who work at like for the post office, or the people who are actually on the front lines. Let me rephrase that, because the people in corporate in those positions can work from home, and they have been working from home, and they've been perfectly fine. The people who are at risk are not getting paid, and they are also going to be the people that are going to be at risk for losing their jobs. They are the people that make the economy go. If the country gets shut down again, we could call the country the company, because that's how they function. If the country gets shut down and all of their essential workers have to stay in the house, and when I say like shut down, I mean like a real shutdown. Like the lax shit, that's not gonna work this time around. If all of that stuff has to happen and the people that actually make the country go and keep the economy going are not able to go to work, they're gonna have to give people money, because what are we going to do if the people that can't work in the essential places can't be at work and the essential places aren't open? How are we going to survive? And that's probably where that rebellion is going to come from. I don't know what it's going to be, and I don't know who it's going to be, but apparently somebody's going to get somebody's attention and get the ball rolling. It is going to be a fight. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle, I will say that, but ultimately they're going to have to give us some sort of assistance. Honestly, I don't know how much, because I know I pulled this card in one of them last spreads, and I was like, ooh, they're gonna have to give us some money. And then they turned around and hit us with what, like $1,200, was it? That is literally like a few dollars more than my rent. And then when you factor in all of my other bills. So when they hit us with the assistance, what can we expect? Can we expect some abundance, or can we expect some bullshit? What is the deal? My nails are getting longer. I can't pick anything up. I feel like my sister. Like, I'd be looking at her like, Yana, how do you do anything? And it annoys her, so I stopped doing it. But like, I feel like my sister right now. It's not gonna be a sufficient amount of bread, which I feel like y'all already knew that. The Four of Cups again, discontentment. This is not enough. When I read this, especially when I read this in like career spreads and like financial spreads, this is a card of you don't want what's given to you because you want something more fulfilling. So they're going to hit us with some assistance, and it's going to be the same old story again of, okay, like, thank you, but what am I supposed to do with this? I still have back bills to pay. What the hell am I supposed to do with this little $400 that y'all are sending to me? I hope it's more than $400. Can I get some? Now That's going over the end of the year. I'm not going to go into January just yet, but I do want to pull a card in regards to like, is this just going to be the energy for the government assistance like indefinitely? Because that's always been the energy. So like in regards to all of the changes and the messages that we need to see, the Star and the Ten of Swords. No, but something they're like, and it's honestly on some revolutionary stuff, which I guess in regards to people's rights, the gist of all of the conflict is going to come from the vaccination, to be completely honest. Oh, I wanted to pull some cards on them forcing people to get the vaccinations. So the job that I just quit, and one of the reasons why I decided to leave was because I knew that they were going to do that. So I was like, let me go before they, because I ain't got time. Oh, I probably just gave away who I worked for by telling y'all that. Oops. I didn't say their name though, so leave me alone. So much for trying to be discreet. Hello, welcome to SunshinehazeCo. My name is Aja A, and my Mercury is in Leo. Oopsies. The Emperor. So that's crazy that the Emperor card just fell out, because I literally referred to this shit as an attempted dictatorship the other day. And I should not laugh at that, but the Emperor card fell out on its side. So that does tell me that that's going to be a no-go. That's just going to get shut down. It should have been shut down before it even started. But, you know, I've learned that I was born into a country that is heavily influenced by society and has been conditioned to be afraid to stand up for what is right. And that's not anybody's fault. That is the country we live in. Six of Cups. Yep, okay. You guys, not surprised, especially with Saturn being in Aquarius. By the way, I'm in my Saturn return too, y'all. So y'all are probably like, girl, you going through it over there. I'm not. I have, my chart is ruled by Saturn. So this has actually been a very good and eye-opening time for me. Whereas a lot of my other friends my age have been going through the shits. But for me, it's been good. I have no wood. Oh, yes, I do. I have a piece of Palo Santo. Knock on wood. I had a big old piece of wood sitting right in front of me too. Saturn's in Aquarius. We're in a time where things are shifting. We've got a lot of astrological stuff happening. We're in the Lionsgate portal right now. And even though I did this reading to cover towards the end of from now until the end of, well, not now, September to the end of the year, things need to change. And that came straight out the gate at the beginning of the reading. So things need to change. To sum it up, we've got the Six of Cups here. This is a card of nostalgia. And honestly, what I get with this is like going back to the roots, going back to how things, not necessarily how they used to be, but when you think about indigenous cultures, when you think about African cultures, when you think about, you know, even during slavery times, when you think about these people of color who had all of these remedies. Ooh, I forgot I have makeup. This is why I don't wear makeup, y'all. I probably look like a whole raccoon. I am so, please don't make fun of me. When you think about these communities and you think about these remedies and these spiritual practices and these rituals that brought in all of these things and brought in all of this good energy and helped people progress and help people grow and learn, that is what this Six of Cups is pointing to. We need to return to a place in this world of love and of humanity, as opposed to economics and, you know, like profit. So we might get shut down. They're going to give us a little bit of money, but it's going to be some chump change. They are going to try and amp up pushing the vaccinations on us. However, that is going to get nipped in the bud. There's some information out there that's going to be coming out that is probably already out, but it's not necessarily available, or like clear for us right now. So the end of the year is looking, I mean, it's looking real inside-ish. So it is what it is. But with that being said, like I told you guys for every other reading, especially the ones at the beginning, when I was like, use this time to, you know, get into what it is that you want, what it is that you love, and figure out your life. That's what I did. And it took me a while to make the moves on the things that I figured out. But, you know, it's all about perspective. While it was a really hard time, and it's been a really hard time for everybody, you know, I used last year to figure out that I'm very talented and I've always had the skills that I have, and I could be making money doing that as opposed to working for other people. You know what I'm saying? Some people figured out, oh, I don't like where I'm living, I'm gonna go stay somewhere else. Some people decided, hey, this is not the career I want to be in. Some people decided, hey, this is not the person I want to be with now that I've had to sit in the house with your ass for 3 months. You know, so they're if they shut us down again, because I know that's what people are really worried about. If they do shut us down again, make the most of it. Try to hear my voice when they put that on the CNN and the news channel. I said the CNN like an old person. When they put that on CNN and when the CDC posts it and all this stuff, try to hear my voice in your head saying it's all about perspective. Make the most of the time with yourself, because that's what it's about. Aquarius energy that we're really dealing with for this year is collective energy, but Aquarius is also the sign of the individual. So it's all about getting yourself individually realigned to benefit the collective, which is what I said straight out the gate, or maybe not straight out the gate, maybe like in the second part of the reading. But that's all I got for y'all. I'm hungry and I'm hot because I had to turn my fan and my AC off because it makes a lot of noise. So it's been real. Thank you guys for tuning in. I just put up the Leo new moon and Lionsgate video a couple hours ago, maybe a few hours ago. I am back for real, and I put up y'all's monthly tarot readings. I don't have a description yet because I'm recording this live, so I'll get in there in a few minutes and link everything in there. But if you make it to my channel before I make it to the computer, you can just go to like my latest videos or my latest playlists. What else? Retrograde series. I'm going to be putting up the Uranus retrograde video either tomorrow or the next day, depending on what time I wake up. And I think that's all I got for y'all. Oh, I am having it's not a sale. This is the price of the reading. I'm doing short Lionsgate readings. They're $8. They are available to book through my Etsy shop, and I do have a very limited quantity of them. You are very welcome, love. Thank you for turning in. I need to go to bed. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you want to book one of those $8 Lionsgate readings, go to my Etsy shop. I will link it in the description box, and it should be one of my featured items. If you can't find it, go to the tarot section. It's in there for real, for sure. All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch y'all next time. Good night. Have a good Leo new moon, and I guess have all the fun you can before they lock us in the house again. Peace.